Alright, hello guys, how's it going? In today's video, we're going to be talking once more about that upcoming snowstorm. Now, before I get started with this video, though, I would ask that you do subscribe if you do like weather-related content, and also make sure to share this video with your friends, family, and social media. I'd also highly recommend that you check out our very exciting store in the description and the pinned comment down below, where you can receive our awesome products. And also our very exciting Patreon page, where we actually just made a post about a snowstorm that could extend from the southeast all the way up through the mid-Atlantic and into the northeast. You can check that out for cheaper than the price of a coffee, and also you can cancel at any point if you feel inclined to do so, but I don't think you will. Anyway, for today's comment of the day, I want to know, what is your favorite model, your favorite weather model, that is? No, but for real, I would like to know what your favorite weather model is, which one you think is the most accurate, and I'll be picking one of those for tomorrow's video. Now let's get right into this video, and first things first, we're taking a look at our European model. I'm actually going to be running through pretty much all of our major models' simulated radar, because I feel like I use one model for the simulated radar and then use all of them for the snowfall forecast, but why not show what all of them are showing on both? So here's our European model first, and this is kind of like the afternoon hours of Thursday. The storm is going to be getting started for the southern four corner states. And then by the time we're taking a look at about 8 p.m. on Friday, we're going to see that storm move up into the upper Midwest, the plains, the Great Lakes. And you can see we have moderate to heavy snowfall going on for Missouri, Iowa, Illinois, and even some snowfall mixing in for Michigan by this point. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move on towards about the afternoon hours of Saturday, December 12th, where the snowstorm is going to really get started and start dropping some heavy snowfall for a lot of these regions. Alright, now here we are by about 12 p.m. on Saturday, December 12th, and as you can see, we have moderate to heavy snowfall going on for Nebraska, Kansas, Missouri, Iowa, Illinois, including Chicago. We even have Wisconsin and central and southern portions of Michigan there as well, all seeing that kind of moderate to heavy snowfall, and actually that is quite heavy there in those kind of deeper shades, so we will be tracking that, looking at that very closely. Here is our kind of 8 p.m. on Saturday time frame, and this is when things start to get even heavier, as you can see, for especially Chicago and then in through portions of central Michigan. That looks to be the bullseye according to this model, but as you're going to see in a moment, we actually have a lot of differing opinions on the location, so we could see a much different location than this. And then by the time we're at about 8 a.m. on Sunday, December 13th, it's pretty much all said and done. All right, and now we're taking a look at that GFS model, which is a little lower resolution, but we're still going to look at it. Again, Friday at about 2 a.m. here, we see that storm starting for the four corner states. And then by time at 2 a.m. on Saturday, December 12th, we see it move up into the upper Midwest, the Great Lakes, areas like that, with, again, some lighter to moderate, even heavy snowfall going on for Iowa, Illinois, Wisconsin, and Michigan. But as we're going to see as we move on towards about 8 p.m. on Saturday, it's a little bit further north than the European model, so we will be watching that closely. But as you can see, Chicago would be kind of just on the, I guess most of Chicago is rain at this point on this model, whereas on the European model it was all snow. So just a tiny little shift in the track, and that could make the difference between snow and rain for any given location. But we do see very heavy snowfall going on for northern Illinois, portions of eastern Iowa, even southern Wisconsin there, and then northern Michigan. What we're going to do is we're going to move on and we're going to finish up this GFS run, and then we're going to move on and take a look at what our Canadian model has to say as well, and then we're going to get into the total snowfall maps as well, all coming up. Alright, now here we are taking a look at the final frame of that GFS run, and as you can see, we actually, this is by 12 p.m. on Sunday or so it's closing out a little bit later than what the European model had. But really, it's more of northern Michigan, even the upper peninsula of Michigan on this model that's just kind of finishing up here with some moderate snowfall. Probably going to drop maybe a couple more inches there in those kind of late morning, noon hours of Sunday, if that was correct. Let's move on and take a look at our Canadian model, and as you can see, we have some snowfall going on for the four corner states there. Again, all the models showed that, but this is by 8 p.m. on Thursday. A bit earlier than the rest of the models were showing it, so we might get to an earlier start here with the Canadian model, and also a weaker storm overall as we move on towards about 8 a.m. on Saturday. You can see we have some moderate, maybe light to moderate snowfall going on for Kansas, Missouri, Iowa, portions of Illinois, southern Wisconsin, although we're mixing in there in the southern regions, and then very far northern Michigan only whereas we have rain in those more southern regions. So you can see that there is some pretty differing opinions still with these models. So we're going to need to continue to track it for the coming days. Let me know how you guys feel about that. I know I make continuous videos even when the confidence is not there yet. We don't really know exactly what the location is going to be, but I love walking through these storms with you guys and kind of just pinning down the forecast and just really narrowing it out with you guys. I don't like doing it. I don't like waiting until I know. I like really just breaking it down with you guys. I feel like there's a lot more teaching points to be had in that type of fashion. So let me know how you feel about that. Because I'm open to suggestions. Obviously, it's about you guys, not about me. So whatever you guys want, but I feel like most of you do enjoy this kind of fashion that I do, and I feel like it's a bit different than what other people do. Let me know again, like I said. What we're going to do is we're going to move on towards 8 p.m. on Saturday, where we will begin to see some heavy snowfall for some regions, not all regions. And then we're going to even take a look at a sneak peek of that storm that I talked about that we're going to do a Patreon post about. And then we're finally going to start talking about that snowfall the snowfall maps from the rest of the models as well. So here's the final frame of that Canadian run for this storm, and as you can see, we close out on kind of a moderate to heavy snowfall point for northern Michigan there, although Illinois, Wisconsin, it really underperforms here compared to the other models. We will see all of it on the total snowfall maps, rest assured. Here's a little sneak peek at that storm we're going to be talking about on that Patreon post, like I said. This is according to last night's European run. Take a look at this. Very far south into Mississippi, portions of Alabama and Tennessee seeing snowfall. It's a bit far out, keep in mind, but very interesting to see it showing this. Is kind of a low confidence storm that we're going to make a Patreon post about. So check that out for sure. Here's the next frame, or a couple frames later. And as you can see, this would be a massive storm for DC, Philadelphia, New York, and even up through Boston later on in the run. So again, we're going to be talking about that storm in that Patreon post. It's very cheap. It's only $3 to join our Patreon. You will get all of our posts that way. And you can always cancel it if you don't enjoy it, but I really think that you will, because most people do once they join. So go ahead and check that out, like I said. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move on, and take a look at those total snowfall maps according to our European model, GFS model, and our Canadian model. Now for our viewers out west, real quickly, we're going to be taking a look at kind of a zoomed out snowfall map, but we're about to kind of zoom in towards the Ohio Valley. But you can see there's a lot of snowfall over the next few days that's expected for the West Coast, the Pacific Northwest especially there, and you can see even through the Rockies as well. But you can tell where our storm is there. So let's just go ahead and zoom in here on our European model. And really, the European model actually keeps us a little bit lighter than the rest of the models, honestly. If you're anywhere in the grays, that's where you're at about a dusting or so, maybe an inch. And then those blue areas is about an inch or maybe up to even 6 inches in the deeper blues. And then we can see within the purple shades, even 6 to 10 inches of snow expected in there. Anywhere in those pinks is where we're at about 10 to 20 inches of snow. Some of the other models keep us a lot heavier there, especially west of Michigan there, so portions of Wisconsin, Iowa, and Illinois. We'll take a look at some of those other models in a moment. But for central and northern Michigan, we have a foot plus in those kind of lighter pink areas, so for sure going to see quite a bit of snowfall there according to the European model. Again, the locations are very differing here according to a lot of the models, so we're not really pinning down that yet. Don't be too confident in the location there. We are expecting a heavy snowstorm though for somewhere. It's the location is really the one we need to really track because they've been all over the place. Here we are with our GFS model, and this is after the storm obviously. And as you can see, again, the color shades are the same amounts, but we see those heavier amounts. It's a little bit further north here, but we do see 1 to 2 feet of snow or so. We see 20 inches there for portions of northern Michigan, but really I would say 12 to 16 inches of snow there for northern Illinois, southeastern Wisconsin there, and then even up through northern Michigan as well in those brighter pinks. And then the Canadian model, like I said, which was much weaker than the rest of the models, this one keeps the amounts much lighter. The bullseye areas here is only for kind of Iowa, Wisconsin, and Illinois, and it doesn't even get close to Chicago. And then northern Michigan as well, we see maybe 6 to 10 inches of snow or so, but that's about it. Whereas the other models keep us, we have very, very large areas of 10 inches plus. So there's huge differences here in the location for sure. A little bit of differences in the amount, but it kind of is pretty consistent with the fact that we're going to see very widespread 6 to 10 inch amounts with some bullseyes of 10 inches plus. The The Canadian model thinks we will maybe hit about 10 inches, but the other models do keep us a lot larger. Either way, this snowstorm is on its way. We just need to really pin down that location. And I really feel like tomorrow and the next day, we're really going to pin this down, obviously, before we hit the weekend. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to be talking about this storm pretty much continuously until it hits. Also, our Facebook group, Weather Freaks, I've not really been plugging that a lot lately, but if you join that down below, that's always in the pinned comment in the description. We do active discussions on these upcoming storms, so if you kind of are more on the meteorology side of things and you really do like the more breakdown of things and having discussions, that's definitely a cool place to be. Anyway, for today's comment of the day, I asked you guys kind of, do you think this is going to be more of like a northern storm or southern storm? Where do you think that bullseye is going to set up? And B Breezy said, I think central Michigan will get the most out of any of the other states. And I do think that central or northern Michigan, depending on if it's the more northern route or the more southern route, I think that's going to kind of be the bullseye most likely. So I definitely agree there. Good comment of the day. Anyway, for today's patron highlight of the day, I want to thank you all for supporting the channel, but especially our diamond patrons, Michael Codalessa, Alicia Davis, Marcus Connolly, Catbite, Alan Cherry, Terry Curtis, It's Jay, Cindy Klein, Bill Roberts, Kellen Manhart, Michael Buell, Charles Stinnett, Noah Harley, and Mark J, alongside our platinum patrons, Adam S., John Benbenick, Justin Quantrell, Donna Carnes, Dovie Nagel, Alan Belemo, Larry LePan, James Wade, and Cameron Marshall. If you would like to be on this Patreon end screen, you can do so by joining our Patreon in the description and the pinned comment down below. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Again, be sure to share it with your friends, family, and social media. I will see you guys in the next video.